What's going on, guys? My name is Elias. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my long-term ownership of the BMW X5 35D. This is a 2011. I bought this thing with 80,000 miles. It currently has over 130,000. So I put 50,000 miles, and that was a lot of hard towing, a giant trailer. It's a pretty large, a 24-foot by 8.5-foot trailer, and it's usually stocked full of cars. It moved us 3 times from New York to Florida in that trailer, right? And it's been the primary mom wagon for my wife and our daughter. So we take lots of long road trips. We do a lot of stuff together in this X5. And it's time for me to give you guys an update. Now, outside of 2 things, the car has been absolutely perfect. And I'm going to discuss those 2 things and what they are because they're preventable. And so stay tuned for that. If you like these type of videos, make sure to hit the like button. It really helps us out. And subscribe. So let's go ahead, go for a drive and get started. So it has been quite a long time since I've given you guys an update on this thing. So I think it's a good idea to recap what's changed since the last time I gave you guys an X5 update, because you may only be here for the X5. Now, if you're only here for the X5, I think there's like 3 videos on the X5 on my channel. So I apologize for the lack of updates on this car. It's just that we use it daily, right? It is the most used vehicle in our entire fleet. So to recap, in the summer of 2020, my wife and I wanted to replace her 335D. She kept on blowing up the wheels on that 335D every time she went to work and commuted into New Jersey. A lot of potholes, and she wasn't very good at dodging them. So I think I went through like 6 wheels on that car. When I said, finally, I've had enough, time for an SUV. And she said, well, I want an X5. So we got her an X5, flew to Colorado, picked it up near Denver, Colorado, and drove it back then was Pennsylvania. And what we did to it, and I recommend if you're gonna buy a diesel X5, you need to do these as well, is the ABC delete. You need to change the fluid in the transmission, about every 80,000 miles or so. You need to change the transfer case oil, about 80,000 miles or so. And obviously the engine oil, the fuel filter, etc. But of course, the ABC deletes, like I said, is very important. All of this was done at Castle Performance. And so that's what I do whenever I buy a used vehicle. I take it and I maintain the crap out of it to make sure that it's going to last as long as possible. Now, when I bought this thing, a lot of people were telling me, well, it's a terrible idea. This thing's going to break a lot, and it's going to have a lot of faults, a lot of issues. And so in this video, I'm going to give you guys all the good, all the bad. So we're going to start out with the good. And there's so much good to talk about. So this thing has been the perfect mom wagon for my wife. And, basically since we had our daughter almost 2 years ago, it's been in the back of my mind, like, I'm just glad that my wife drives herself and my daughter around in a pretty hefty car, right? This thing weighs 5,200 pounds. That's a lot of weight. It's not as, heavy as a heavy duty truck, but it's pretty heavy for its size. And in case you don't know, in a collision, you want to be the heaviest vehicle in that collision. So the heavier you are, the better it's going to be if you happen to get into an accident. So of course, in addition to it weighing a lot, there's also the fact that it's got decent ground clearance. It's a little higher up. So we're not going to have a situation where a big pickup truck is going to get on top of the X5 or something like that, or something crazy could happen like that. I could totally see, like, if I'm driving my S2000, pretty much any car can just get right on top of it if it wants to. And I want to avoid that as much as possible when it comes to my daughter and my wife. So the safety issue has really come to the forefront of the equation, and I'm glad that she drives this X5. Of course, it's got all the airbags, and it exceeded all safety regulations back in 2010 and 2011, and so it does really well in any collision. So On top of that, because it's got great ground clearance, I live in a very rural area, and so you're gonna have all kinds of nasty things on the road, rocks and branches, and actually one of my recent videos in the C606, there was a branch stuck under the C606 when I was doing some flybys on the camera, and I only noticed them in the video. I didn't notice that it was stuck under my Corvette. And that's because it's just the roads that we're on, they're extremely remote roads. They don't get repaved for 20, 30, 40 years sometimes. These roads can easily turn into a dirt road, right? So we've taken, professional pictures or portrait pictures with my wife and kid. And on the way there, the road turned from pavement to dirt, back to pavement, back to dirt. And if I didn't have a lifted vehicle of some sort, a truck or an SUV like this, it wouldn't be comfortable. The next thing that we love so much about this thing is the fact that it's diesel. It's a diesel BMW X5. It gets us very close to 26, 27 miles to the gallon regularly. Now, if my wife drives it on the highway, she keeps the speed, under 90 miles an hour. And if you're keeping the speed under 90 miles an hour, you're gonna get, almost 30 miles to the gallon, which when paired with a 22.5 gallon tank, basically 600 miles per tank is what you get. And we love that range. We love having that extended range to be able to kind of figure out, okay, maybe we stop here for gas, maybe we don't. And goes to show you, we take this on a lot of road trips. We live in the middle of nowhere. Everything is a road trip, right? So tomorrow we're gonna do a Costco trip. That's an hour away. And if I have to go to the airport, it's another hour away. If I want to go to a major, city to buy major things, they're all an hour away, right? That's a minimum thing for where I live. And so in addition to that, we visit family about 3 or 4 hours away and constant road trips back and forth from New York and Florida. I'm not a big fan of flying these days. These airplanes are falling out of the sky, and Boeing, and a lot of crap happening with Boeing too. Let's not get into that. The point is, I like road trips. My family loves to do road trips. And this is great. Great mileage, great range, and it packs a diesel punch. The beauty of this is, of course, the drivetrain. Funny enough, this has the same engine and transmission as found in the 335D that we also own. And of course, it's been tuned by the Castle Performance. It makes close enough to 400 horsepower and close enough to 600 foot-pounds of torque. It's probably like somewhere in the vicinity of 350 and 350 and 550 torque. Close enough. The point is, there's 2 turbos. It's sequential. So on the lower end, you're always using that small turbo. And even when towing, I never really felt the need to go into that big turbo power. The only time I use that big turbo, past about 2,500 RPMs, the only time is when I want to go fast, when I want to merge and I want to get in there fast and have some fun. This is one of the few SUVs that packs that punch, packs that amount of power. It's impressive. And not only that, it's extremely reliable. Allow me to demonstrate. We're going to turn right hard here, and we're going to nail it. Yeah. And just like that, we're at 85 miles an hour. Yikes. 5,200 pounds going 85 miles an hour from a dig, turning, and I even hit some dirt there on purpose to see if I can get some traction control action. It just stuck and went. It was ridiculous. And that's the thing about this car. It gives you a confidence that most other vehicles don't, with that all-wheel drive and that power and the weight. It's really nice. It's a really good thing to have. So the M57 engine, that's the engine in this thing, is a proven engine. It's got the old style CP3 fuel pump, which if you know anything about fuel pumps, that's the one you want. It's a very reliable fuel pump. And it just does the job without complaints. It hasn't complained at all. It hasn't broken down even once. Not even a check engine light from the engine at all. Now, I forgot to mention that when we bought the car, You do have to change vacuum lines as well. Vacuum lines will go bad on this. So, you know, vacuum lines, ABC delete, oil changes, all the fluid changes. Once you do that, you're good for another 80 to 100,000 miles. And again, I've been very impressed with the reliability of this X5. Everyone told me it was going to be a piece of crap, and it really hasn't been. Everything works. Bluetooth, even Bluetooth has been working very well. I think it's only dropped a couple times at most, and we use it pretty much every time we're in the car. We use it, and it's all you need. You don't need Apple CarPlay, you don't need Android Auto. It's Bluetooth, and with Bluetooth, I put my phone up here, and it just works, right? I don't have to think about it. Just bam, go, boom. Now, for the last couple things I want to tell you guys about, I need to bring you guys back here, because this is where the action is. First, let's go ahead and open this bad boy. Cargo and utility. Look at this thing. Very cavernous, nice and flat. You can fit a lot in here, and it's even got a little folding floor down here. I got some straps there just in case I need them. It is awesome to have that much utility in an X5. You look down here, this is one of the few X5s I found on the market with the optional factory tow hitch. Came pre-installed. I'm not sure if it was the factory or the dealer, but it was installed. You can see this trim here. They actually have a specific trim. They cut the bumper and put the little trim. And this came basically either from the factory or from the dealership that way, with the proper connections. And with that, you're supposed to be able to tow 6,000 pounds, but I can tell you, I can easily tow about 8,000 pounds, no problems at all. And I know that because I've done it a lot. I would say though, if you're towing with this thing, if you're towing 6,000 or more pounds, be very careful not to go over around 75, 80 miles an hour. It's really powerful. The brakes are really good. So you're not really gonna have an issue with that. I never have. The issue starts being after about 75 miles an hour, because of its shorter wheelbase than pickup trucks, it'll start to sway a little bit, and it's not a good feeling. So keep your speed down, keep it under 85, 80 miles an hour. I keep it around 70, 75, and this thing tows very well. Usually gets me about 12 miles to the gallon, surprisingly. 12 miles to the gallon towing that giant trailer. All right, let's move on to the negatives of this X5. And first, since we're back here, most of the negatives are actually right back here. Let's go ahead and take a look. So this right here, these plastics, they are not durable. Like, I've put these together, they don't want to stick together, and it's kind of a weird system here. You know, it's got some clips down there. I've put some clips. I mean, I made my own clips with my own washers. I try to fix it myself, but they just, if you use this as much as I do, I basically use this thing as a farm vehicle at this point. And I put a bunch of crap back there. Your plastics, they're not gonna hold up, and they rattle. So these things are gonna rattle, and you do hear them. There's a lot of rattles in this car. That's another thing to talk about. I mean, they're very faint, so they don't really bother me, but those rattles do exist. Again, since we're back here, let's go ahead and open this again. There's a big issue here, and the big issue, the one thing that basically almost left us stranded, the one thing that will leave you stranded and break your car, let me show you guys in detail. So we're back here. There's the driver's side rear. And if you look inside, a lot of electronics in here. I believe this controls the radio, and there's more down there. I could take it apart, but it'll take some time. The point is, water gets in here, and it gets in here two ways, right? I'll show you way number one. The easiest thing to do and to see is these brake lights. These brake lights, they have a seal here all around that seals the brake light to the chassis. It doesn't let water in. That seal needs to be replaced. What I did, I took some RTV sealant, or I think it was RTV sealant, and I took these off. I put them on and put the taillights back on, and it stopped the water from getting in. That was a huge deal, because in here, it's even worse. In here is the entire fuse box. right down there, entire fuse box. The second way water gets in is through these right here. You can see I've already applied sealant to this. These rubber pieces come loose and they come away and allow water to get inside this wiring loom here. Once it gets in there, the wiring loom carries it down and inside of the electronics. You do not want that, right? So there's water intrusion through here. The last one is, if you see back there, that's the little vent or drain for the sunroof. Big sunroof, huge panoramic sunroof that these things have. And there's one there, and there's one there. You gotta be very carefully clean those. Very carefully clean those out so you don't damage them. Because if they get clogged, you will once again have water inside your cabin. I'm not sure if it'll actually drain down here where all the electronics are, but it will drain in the front, and there's computers everywhere on this car. You want to keep the water out. I do wish BMW allowed you to buy a newer X5 without that giant panoramic roof. I don't like sunroofs. I don't like panoramic sunroofs. I think they're pretty when they're open. I think they're, they're kind of nice, but I'd rather be without them if they're going to cause water intrusion in my vehicle, in my X5. So there you have it. That is the main thing that goes wrong. The other things that go wrong, well, that went wrong on mine, these are the comfort seats. These are upgraded seats, really nice, supple leather. And it comes with these adjustable headrests. Well, as you can see, the button's gone. The spring popped out, the button became loose, the whole thing is gone. That's what it's supposed to look like right there. So I'm coming here to the passenger seats because this is the second thing that kind of ruins these cars. First one, again, is that water intrusion, and a lot of it comes from having a panoramic sunroof, or any sunroof really, and those real taillights. But this one, the fan, the HVAC fan that lives in there, very difficult to get to. And I know this because I replaced my HVAC fan, both on the 3 Series and the X Series from 2009-ish to around 2012. They're gonna have issues with the HVAC fan. So if you guys notice, I do not keep my HVAC on auto. I set it to 3 or 4 maximum because even the replacement one has issues. So after 4 years and 50,000 miles, this thing has 133,000 miles on it. It's a 13-year-old X5 diesel. And everybody was telling me this is going to be a big mistake, this is going to be a terrible car, it's never going to run right. But I'm here today to prove to you, I already proven to you, that this thing can be stone dead reliable. It's got a couple of quirks, it's got a lot of electronics that are very sensitive, so you need to keep that water out. But outside of that, and obviously the maintenance that diesels require, the ABC delete, for example, outside of those things, this thing has been perfect since I bought it. I don't even think about it. I don't think twice. Oh, we need to go somewhere. Yeah, X5 will take us. Not a big deal. I don't have to think about it. It just goes. And that's the beauty of this thing. It's stone dead reliable. It's safe. It's great on mileage, on gas, on diesel. It's powerful. It's got plenty of passing power. It's got plenty of just get up and go whenever you want to. It's exciting enough when you're having fun on the back roads. It's not a very floaty car. It's a really nice X5 to own. And yeah, I could have gotten a newer one, maybe the next body style up, and it's a little bigger, a little bit more comfortable, but this thing feels like a tank. So do I regret my purchase? I do not. Do I think that this is a great value for the money? I absolutely do. All right, I'm gonna stop it here. There's more videos coming from this thing in particular. So if you wanna watch more of these videos, be sure to subscribe. And I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Let me know in the comments if you think that I'm still crazy for continuing to keep this thing. It's probably gonna keep it around until way past 200,000 miles. So let me know if it's gonna make it to that. And let me know what else I should upgrade to, if there's anything out there. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.